Gielinor, the magical world of RuneScape. It's divided into chunks for easy use. Welcome to Chunkman Dead Die Kill, the series where I conquer the landmass of Gielinor by doing tasks and unlocking chunks. Last episode we unlocked 3 chunks by completing 3 tasks. The first 2 tasks were completing the Temple of Aikov quest and the 3 Gnome Village quest, and the other task was completing the Alfred Grimhand's Barkroll mini quest. Our map expanded with the Battlefield chunk, the Western Yanel chunk, and the RD Farming Patch chunk. As we were quite lucky with the chunks last week, we will start this episode with the tasks they unlocked. Because we can now enter this area in the Barbarian Outpost, we can finally do the Scorpion Catcher quest, as there is a scorpion in here and we could not get in here without the Barkroll. So first of all, we will need to go to the start of the quest. Here at the top of the Sorcerer's Tower, between Sears and Ardi, we can find Tormak, and let's see what he needs from us. Tormak has left the cage of his scorpions opened and 3 of them escaped. They escaped throughout the world of Gielinor, so he doesn't really know where they are. To get a better picture, let's go to the Seer in Seer's village, as they will probably foresee where the scorpions are at the moment. The Seer has found the first scorpion we need, and it's near some nasty spiders and 2 coffins. And it is in a kind of secret room. A very difficult description that can be anywhere in Gielinor, but as the quest helper will just show us, this is in the Taverley dungeon. And indeed, spiders over here, some coffins and an old wall, and there we have our first scorpion. Let's use a scorpion cage on it, as we don't want it to sting us. But that's 1 scorpion down. Let's go back to the Seer and let's see where the next scorpion is. The Seer says that the next scorpion can be found in a little village in the east, surrounded by lots of uncivilized looking warriors. Uncivilized warriors? That seems like barbarians. And the Seer also tells us about the other one, and that seems to be somewhere with brown clothing laying on a table. Very non-descriptive, but for that last one it's probably the Edgeville Monastery, as you can get the monk's robes there. There we have the monk's robes on the table and the scorpion just beside it. That's 2. And for the last scorpion, we do have barbarians here in the barbarian village, but the Seer told us it was to the west of him and the barbarian village is to the east. The barbarian outpost is to the west, so that's where we're going next. There we go, in the next room we can find our last scorpion. Now the only thing we need to do is to go back to the Sorcerer's Tower and give all the scorpions back to its owner. And giving the scorpions back to Tormak, that is the end of the quest. We get 1 quest point and 6625 strength experience. A short quest if we know the locations of the scorpions beforehand, otherwise this would have taken a bit longer. Another reward we got from doing this is that we can now enchant our battle staffs into mystic staffs from Tormak here. We just need to pay something. We have to pay 40,000 gold pieces, and we can make all of these battle staffs into mystic battle staffs. So first of all we have the fire battle staff, so +2 magic into a mystic fire staff, which now has +4 magic. Then the same thing for the lava battle staff. Now we have a mystic lava staff, and might as well do the same thing for our earth battle staff. A small upgrade for all of these staffs, but pretty nice as well. Either way, that was the Scorpion Catcher completed. That's another quest down, another task to complete on our spreadsheet, and another chunk to pick. We're cruising through the quests now as we got a lot of good unlocks. This was Scorpion Catcher completed. That was our 73rd quest in total, and we got up to 228 landmass chunks unlocked now. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the Ardoin farm patch, which unlocked a quest, which we will do probably after this. But as this was like 4 chunks in a row, which gave us something to do, let's see if we can make it 5. Let's pick a chunk. Okay, first of all we get some water. Getting really close to Apatol now. But it was a water chunk, so that's a reroll. Let's pick a chunk. Oh my god. It happened! We have 5 in 5 of unlocking good chunks. We finally have the rest of the Karamja continent, which unlocks so many things to do. The Taibowane village pretty much means we can now do all of the quests in the Karamja region now, and I'm not sure if we can maybe do the medium diary as well then, but either way it's like 3 quests here. The jungle potion, the Taibowane trio, Shiloh village. It unlocks so many things. The chunk picker really likes us lately, and I don't really mind it. With the last Karamja chunk now unlocked, we could do some of those quests, but I'm just going off the list of all the things we unlocked with the previous chunks. So with the RD patch chunk we can now finally do the Garden of Tranquility. So let's talk to the queen here in Varrock to see what she needs. After some veiled insults from the queen to us and then back from us to the queen asks us to help with her garden, which has just been constructed. As there were some insults, we asked for a reward, but she wasn't really forthcoming in what we would get, but as she is a queen, we can expect some good things from her if we comply with her request. So what we need to do is we have a list of all the plants she needs. The thing is, the seeds aren't just the normal seeds you would expect. The seeds are only obtainable by the act of persuasion, so that's why we need to go talk to the wise old man in Draenor, who knows the art of persuasion, and he will teach us on the request of the queen. The wise old man talks about an individual called Karos, and that was a figure in the Mauritania region who was very adequate at persuading people. When we heard that name, we pretty much immediately thought of the Ring of Karos, which we got from Dr. Svenkenstrain. This ring apparently belonged to Karos. This was what was used to help increase his ability to persuade people. The ring is currently inactive, so we cannot use it at the moment to persuade people, but the wise old man is willing to activate it after he asks us some questions, probably to see how good we are. So let's take the quiz. This should not take that long, it's 7 questions. And there we go, that's an activated Ring of Karos. Now it is time to put this ring to work and to persuade all of the gardeners around Gildenor to give us their seeds. First up, let's go to the closest one, which is the South Valador farm. Let's talk to Elston here. Elston here was enamored by our Ring of Karos and our charisma, and he accepted to give us some of the seeds we need, but for that we need to give him a marigold. So one we planted ourselves, and we need to do this because he wants to give this to Lyra, the farmer back at the Mauritania patch. So let's pick the limpwort we had planted here. Let's put in the marigold, make sure there's some compost on it that it doesn't die. And while we wait for it to grow, let's go to the next farmer. As we were talking about Lyra at the Mauritania patch, let's go there next. Lyra here is the daughter of the people owning the farm just next door, with the ghost father and the living mother, which we met during the animal magnetism quest. And apparently life is very difficult over here, and they have to pay a tithe, a blood tithe, to the vampires in the area. But after a while, with our Ring of Chaos, we convinced her that she would give us the seeds we need if we plant some onions. So let's just fill 2 patches with onions, and if one dies that wouldn't be that bad then, as only one of the 2 needs to survive. Next up we need to talk to Kragen in the patch north of Ardi, but of course we unlocked it 2 chunks ago, so let's unlock it on our map now as well, and let's talk to Kragen. Kragen here is tired of all the adventurers asking him to look after these patches and nobody asking him what he wants. So he wants us to plant some cabbages just for him. So that's not going to be difficult. Let's do the same thing as with the onions. Let's clear out both patches and plant cabbages in both. Next up we can talk to Dantera, just north of Caterby. We are looking for a white tree, or a white tree sapling, and apparently there is only one white tree left and it is dying. As it is dying, we only have one chance of getting a sapling, so off to Ice Mountain we go. There we have the white tree, and we can use our secateurs. And there we have the shoot, and then we can use that shoot on a plant pot and then water it for a nice sapling. Next up in the monastery here next to Edgeville, we can talk to one of the brothers, as he has very nice roses here. The brother immediately knew we were using some kind of magic, and he will not give us anything unless we get rid of it. The closest way to get rid of the ring is to go here to Edgeville, and there is a well we can throw it into. And there it goes. With the ring now in the well, the brother has seen us going to the light, so we can now take some of the seeds from all of his roses. With the rose seeds now obtained, let's get back our ring with this fishing rod. A bit of an odd sight, seeing someone fish with a fishing rod inside a well instead of in a river, but it's all for that one ring. Eight tries later and we finally have our ring back. Next up we need to talk to Bernold here in Bertorp for some of his grapevines. But they don't really look all that well as they are diseased. Bernold accepted our offer to give some of the grapevine seeds if you can heal these diseased grapevines. So let's maybe try a general plant cure first, but that doesn't seem to be working. Let's talk to Alain here, the gardener in Taverley, as he is a druid, so he might know of a cure. Alain here says that if we use some pure essence or the dust with a plant cure that this is one of the most potent plant cures known to man. So let's try this one. That seems to have done the trick. The burnt-out grapevine is now looking much healthier. We've come full circle for all of the seeds, we visited all the farmers, so now it's time to harvest some of the things we needed for the people here. So, one pair of marigolds for Elston, then back to Lyra, and we can see there are already some dead onions. One patch survived, but it's still not fully grown. So I'll log out for a minute and then we'll pick this back up as soon as they are grown. 20 minutes later and our onions got diseased. So let's add a plant cure and wait another 20 minutes. Again, these onions really don't want to be grown here. Okay, now the onions are finally fully grown. Let's talk to Lyra to get her seeds. And now for the other part, the cabbages and both patches were growing pretty well, so that's the other seeds from Kragen. With all of the seeds in our possession, it's time to make this garden that is currently overgrown into a real nice garden with all the seeds we got. First of all, let's plant some orchids in these pots. Plant the burnt-out vine seeds next to the wall so they can grow against the wall. Some snowdrop seeds to make some really nice plants to the right of the garden. Let's put our sapling in the big patch in the middle. The delphinium flowers will go to the left of the tree. And then in the last three patches we can plant all of the rose bush seeds. Now that everything is planted, we'll have to wait a second, and while we are waiting, we still see that there are statue plinths here. And what we're pretty much going to do is steal some statues from the neighboring cities and bring them here. So let's ask for a trolley to move the statues there. The first statue we are going to steal is the one of a former king of Mistlin. So pretty much taking him away from his queen right here at the entrance of Lumbridge Castle. And now to push the trolley all the way back to Varrock Castle. Thank God we don't have to do the entire road. It just gives us a kind of cutscene or a blackout. And we just have to push it a bit further. And let's place the statue on top of the statue plinth, and that's one of the statues. Now we just need one more, and that's going to be from the neighboring village of Falador. A statue of Saradomin right in the middle of some guards, so let's just steal it, they won't notice it anyway. And there we go, that's the second statue. Now we should only have to wait until everything is grown. One day later, and we can see that every patch is now fully grown and it's looking pretty nice with all of the flowers. So let's talk to the queen and let's see what we are going to get as a reward. The queen is quite happy, but she still wants the approval from the king because she partially did this for him. So let's go get him. One cutscene later, the king didn't really seem that amused with the garden, but the queen quickly put him in his place. And that's the end of the quest. You get 2 quest points, 5000 farming experience, the activated ring of Karos of course, a super compost potion and some seeds, guam seeds and an apple tree seed. Not the most useful seeds, but okay. Either way, that's the Garden of Tranquility quest completed. That's another task to finish on our spreadsheet and then pick another chunk. A bit of waiting around on all the plants to be grown, but that's finally the Garden of Tranquility. Quest completed. That was our 74th quest, and that brings us up to a total of 229 chunks unlocked. And then back to our map. The last chunk we unlocked was the Taibo Wanai village chunk, and that was pretty much one of the solitary chunks in the region and the last one on Karamja, so nothing really changes as to which chunks can be unlocked next. We've been very lucky on all of the chunks we've been getting lately. We have still a lot of things we can do, so if we roll one of the not so useful chunks, that wouldn't be a problem now. But let's see if we can hold on to the streak. We are currently 5 for 5 on really useful chunks. Let's see what the next one will be. Let's pick a chunk. Okay, starting off with some water. Getting really close to Apatol now. But a water chunk means another reroll. So let's pick a chunk. And there we go. A part of Apatol. We cannot get here, and we need the full island to do the quest, so it's currently a kind of dead chunk, but that's not really a bad thing. That's going to be all for this episode. If you like what you see, consider a subscription and a like on the video. We started off strong today with the Scorpion Catcher, but oh boy, was that a long second quest. Next week we will start with the first few Karamja quests, as we finally unlocked the last Karamja chunk. So see you then for more Chunkman progress, and have a good one.